Hello, hello everybody. How are we going? How are we going, ladies and gentlemen? Graphite Hilux. Doing great, buddy. Doing great, thank you. I've got a very, very fun stream planned for today. Sadiq Abdul Sabur. Awesome, man. I'm so happy, Sadiq, to hear that. Where are you from, brother? You sound... Sadiq sounds Muslim, Arabic even. And Abdul Sabur too, probably. Yeah. I would assume you are a Saudi, brother. Is that correct? Yeah, I've got something really fun planned for today, guys. So I hope that we are going to drum up some viewership for this occasion. Sulaiman is back. What would I do without the one and only Sulaiman? That is the big question, ladies. You have been one-hand bricklayer in Baghdad lately. You are not wrong. I love that Dimebag. I love that call. I love the call. Oh yeah, from Nigeria. Okay. Okay, but you're definitely Muslim, right? I wonder what percent of Nigeria's population is Muslim. That would be an interesting fun fact for me to look up, but that's perhaps for another time. Oh, Galdor and Xlash. Hello, hello. Yeah, I know, Donny. Tell me about it, buddy. And my viewership is once again beneath the butt of a minor. This is not gonna work. So it's very low. It is on a level with the Mariana Trench. Let's go with that one. Okay, I need to hook up the chat bot and then we can kick off, guys. Seb, you will like today. Seb, you will like today. Well, you like every stream, really, so I don't know why I singled out today, but most Nigerians are Muslims? Really? Okay, I need to Google this now. Nigeria religious distribution. Yeah, 53% Muslim, 35 Protestant, 10 Roman Catholic. So half of the, a bit more than half of the population is Muslim. Nigeria population. I don't know the population. What would it be? Holy. 230 mil. That's massive, man. Alright, let's go. So today, guys, on the menu is going to be our good friend, the king of Twitter, the ultimate troll, and an incredibly gifted player, and a very witty human. That is none other than our good friend Anish Giri, and we are going to have a look at some of his games. I intend this to be a series, so we will see how we go. Pawn Stealer, yes, thank you. Yasu in the house. Do you think there are benefits to memorizing tricky opening lines? Well, can't hurt. I think there are better ways to spend your time and mental energy, but you do you. Alright, so the first game is against a gentleman called Roy David Midema from Portugal, I guess. And the opening is going to be right off the bat, a very complicated one. The Semislav. Formula 14. Hello from Scotland. What the heck are you doing awake in Scotland, brother? I wanted to do a Scottish accent, but not a chance I can pull that off. That being said, I love listening to Kevin Bridges because I need to listen to his comedy like 3 times in a row to understand the words he's saying. Ah, you're a night owl. Fair enough. Alright, so what is the craziest, most psychopathic move here that is considered to be theory here, guys? Does anyone know? Hello from Poland! Our friend from Polska! And he's subscribed to YouTube already. What a freaking legend. Well done, brother. Well done. You have already made my day. So, what is the most bananas move for white here again? Remind me. G4. Does anyone know what this line is called? Do more. Do cry, rather. The Shirov Shabalov attack. That's right. Actually, it was Shabalov who invented this, I believe. Okay, so there are many good responses to it, by the way. Bishop b4 is very good here. Taking is actually perfectly sound. Taking c4 is good. And h6 is good. Actually, there's not really a move that is bad against it, which is the problem with the line. Khan LSL. Cheers, buddy. Huh. I don't remember you, I apologize, but yeah, I'm very impressed that you came in strong with a Subski right away. Thank you so much. How's it going, man? Ah, Sulaiman, you are a hero. You are a hero, buddy. Alright, Bishop d2 played. What do we do now for black? What do we do now? So if you take g4, the idea is that they play rook g1 and then they win g7 back, right? Which is why our friend rejected the idea. Bishop d2 was played with the idea of castles queenside. And yeah, now the onus is on us. Yeah, DC, very good, Sepches, very good. We don't need to wait for the bishop move anymore. It's perfectly fine for us now to kick it with b5. The bishop goes back. And now again we have got a bunch of moves to pick from. What would be your go-to? What would be your go-to? Guys, I need to add the command. And this will take 30 minutes, seconds. Bear with me. I will add this to the command list. A5, definitely not. No, A5 is pointless. Like, what's the purpose of A5? Why would you do that? Don't do that. B4 is logical. B4 is logical. I would definitely not castle because G5 is gonna rip into us. Yeah, so the two best moves in the position, according to the machine, are Queen C7 and Bishop B7. I don't really like Queen C7. I would go Bishop B7. The idea is that you want to go B4, C5. Trajinx, thank you. Yeah. Now, after E4, the most thematic response is always E5. Is this a good or a bad move here? Yeah, I think it's a good move, actually. I quite like it. Hello, CSPVD. How are you going, buddy? I do like this move a lot. It's very thematic in the Maran, and the engine doesn't like it. It's very interesting. The engine wants white to take castle here, and yeah, now we have got a bit of an awkwardness here on the D file, I suppose. But I would do it anyway. I would do it. Our good friend Anish, he played the engine's favorite move, which is bishop e7. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And the idea now is finally to play b4 and c5. But he wanted to step out of the fork. So yeah, this was interesting. This was interesting. They played g5, take, and black to play. Black to play, be a beast. Oh, the GOAT! Thank you so much, buddy. Cheers. It's sad to hear that at 3 o'clock you have to work on your thesis, but I hope it's going well. Eric, welcome in, buddy. Welcome in. So now we have got some good moves and some incredible moves. What do we do? b4. I love b4. As a matter of fact, Dr. Marcus, thank you very much, buddy. I prefer b4 to what was played in the game. The engine wants b4 here and then c5. But now this knight doesn't get sidelined because it can take on c5. And then this is a bit of a red hot mess. But we like mess. Okay? So that was one possibility. Instead, our Dutch friend played the immediate c5. Now that is definitely a telltale sign that our Dutch friend has the cojones, for sure. Milo, how are you going, man? Good to have you on board. But now obviously it means that we sack b5. So what do you think is cooking here if they do take b5? What's wrong with this? Or rather, what should we do? Oh my god, CSPVD, so you are a genius. Fair enough. You would play bishop e4, isn't it hanging though? A6 Gadur is correct. We kick the knight, and now there's already all kinds of dramas for white because the d4 pawn is dropping no matter where the knight goes back. That's it. Sometimes you guys got to keep it simple. Likewise, against bishop b5, we just take d4 and white's center is falling apart. So, c5 played. Oppo takes c5. What do we do now? We have quite a number of choices here too, but there is one move that stands out. Black to move and shine. Rook c8. Maybe a bit slow. White has b4 then, right? We want a bit more aggro. b4. Absolute best move. Very good. b4, guys. Well done. We're kicking the knight in the face. It loosens the defenders on e4. But, having said all this, we need to see here a masterful follow-up. And I will tell you one thing. If I asked you what you would play in this position with black, I think 9 people out of 10, including me, would say rook c8. But there is something even stronger than rook c8 here. A very unique attacking idea. What is this very unique idea I am rambling about? Let's go, folks. Let's go. Queen a5. Nah, you have to watch c6 there, friend. You have to watch c6. Galdor, hello. Rook h4, guys. This is a mental, absolutely mental move. Hitting e4, but allowing the c6 fork. So what is going on here with this? Why is black not losing the game right now? Why is black not losing this game right now? Well, Dimeback Donny, now is the time to demonstrate your genius. What? Hello? Jesus, Anon. What the heck? Thank you so much. Wow, guys, 10 subbies to the chat. That's huge. Thank you, thank you. Very, very kind. Oh my goodness. On your bike, baby. Yeah, I need to redo the audio for those things. Wowzers! That was brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that, whoever you are. I have a vague feeling I know who you might be, but either case, I am really, really appreciative. Thank you, thank you. Dark BTD, hello, Radio Dota, hey. Okay, Rook C8, fair enough, but what if I take this? Are we losing a piece here, ladies? Aren't we losing a piece? Trajan, you are a fair dinkum legend. So the idea is rook c8, losing the piece with a check, but then we retake with the knight, maintaining the attack on the queen, and now targeting the knight on g5. This was the move I think that Anish's opponent had overlooked. And the rest of the game is beautiful but quite simple, or I should rather say quite simple but beautiful. Knight took, trying to rake some material back for the knight, which does look logical, but again, it makes no difference. What are we taking now, folks? The queen or the knight? F3 instead of C6. What? F3. Yeah, I can. Good call, or interesting question. Yeah, I would play rook c8 and gain it back, yeah? So no worries. Okay, so take was played. What do we take? Knight or queen? Of course we take the knight. We are ahead in development. We are having multiple threats. There's not a chance you trade queens. No way, Jose. Okay, next black move is obvious. Rook takes e4, creating a pin. And now black is in all sorts of trouble. Okay, our turn. We need to keep up the momentum. What do we do? Bryzy, howdy buddy. Howdy. Bishop a6 piling up, I think is met by bishop e3. That's a bit too soon. That is easy to handle. That is a bit too easy to handle. Bishop d5 says YouTube, which might actually send the queen to a better square. Be careful there. I very strongly dislike bishop a6 because it forces white to play the correct move. By the way, YouTube, please don't forget to press the like button, engage with those emojis. It helps the algo, or at least we can hope that it does. Rook e2 is very, very promising. Our good friend Anish played queen a5 first, deploying the queen, threatening to come in from here. Now let's do a very kindergarten tactic. White to move, black to move and win. Yeah, I wish I would. I could be happy about that, Dimeback Donny, but I can't. So how do we win now? Easily. Hi, Howie, thank you. Coming in strong, baby. Toppers, there is a better move than queen e5, and that better move is to start with the check, because that way we win a full piece. If you play queen e5 first, then we only win an exchange after rook takes e7. So rook takes, and then queen e5, not d5. Check wins the rook, very good. So white instead played king f1. And now the position is right. What? What is going on? Howie? Wow! Another 10 gifted subskis. Holy Jesus, thank you so much, brother. That has earned you 2 game analysis, by the way, if you would like to cash in on those. Just saying. Hey Jazz, how are you? The Game Twok, how are you going, bud? So, what do we do now, ladies? Thank you so much once again for the 10 gifted subbies. Holy moly. You are an absolute legend, Howie. I hope you're doing well, brother. Yes, indeed. Send a big fat thank you to that lovely human. You are a fair dinkum legend. So, what is our move now, guys? This is the first time when we really get to be very creative. Thank you for the shout out. Who did the shout out? Please tell me how we do shout outs, because I don't understand anymore how it works on my channel. Jump in with the knight. To here, to here, to here. Where? Hello, Mr. Landau. Bishop a6 is on the right track. That idea is part of what we want to do, but it's not the right move. Or I should rather say it's not the best move. It is a very good move, but not the best. Trajan, you mean this knight here? Well, it's not exactly feeling super comfortable, I would agree with that. But going after it might have some unpleasant counter effects. No. This is not the offer draw type of story, guys. What is the refined version of Bishop a6? Oh, Mr. Eric coming in strong. No, Galdor, I just said Bishop c6 gets pinned by the rook. So, go aggro, guys. Go aggro. This was said by YouTube. Rook e2, of course. I mean, the light squared bishop is gonna be an absolute beast on these two diagonals. King takes. And before we hop on set diagonals, we need just one final adjustment. What would that be? No, queen f5 is not looking bad, but I wouldn't worry too much about the queen, guys. The queen is already threatening to enter from here or here. We need another piece to spread the love. Yes, baby. Bring in the knight. That's the way we go. 95. Put your pieces in the center. 95. Now we have got the check supported. And also, if you're coming from this diagonal, whether it's bishop or queen, we will also have a knight jump. And now white is absolutely beyond repair. What would you say, guys, is the numeric evaluation of the engine is here? Type in the chat, please, what you think is correct. Numeric eval. Let's go. -10, -5.6, -7. Yeah, you guys are mostly on the money, so it's about -6.5. -6.5, yeah. So Rook G3 was played. Let's finish the attack. Let's go. Yep, Queen B5 outstanding. Well done. King E1. And now let's keep on piling the pressure. By the way, what happens after here? Yeah, Queen F1 is absolutely terminal here. Bishop E1, Rook D8 check. And this is actually now already checkmate incoming in a few moves. No worries. So King E1 played. Now we are going to turn up the heat on the diagonal with Bishop A6. And good luck, Chuck. When you see this game broken down to move by move analysis, Simon Gastanciska from maybe Slovakia. So when you see this game, you go like, well, that was kind of meh. It was easy. And you might feel that. But it was because we went through this on a move-to-move basis, you know, analyzing all the pros and cons. And so it's easy to see that. But when you are in this game, for starters to find here Rook H4 allowing the C6 fork was amazing. And then here too to come up with the idea of the exchange sack in the heat of a battle. This is what lower rated players tend to not go ahead with. And when they see it done by others, they go like, oh yeah, I can do that too. But somehow it doesn't quite happen very often in our own games because, yeah, in the heat of the battle, it takes a lot of commitment to follow through with these attacking ideas. All right, let's go on to next. Our next game is going to be a really, really fun one. Yeah, rook h4 was a particularly deep idea. Sepp just well spoken there. Okay, so two duchies here. Spolman, I don't know how to pronounce that, against Anish, who is now 26 plus. And this is gonna be a really weird opening, where Anish plays e5. Now this is really not a good move at all. But it's very, very tactical. It's very sharp. And so it is going to be now a really exciting battle. White accepted the pawn. Best move. What do we do now for black? Knight d7 is one of the possible moves. In fact, probably the better one. Spoolman. I see. That's what I suspected it would be, something like that. Thank you, Apot. Knight g4 was played in the game. And now white has a number of choices. There is d4, there is f4, and there is knight takes knight. Which one do you think is the best? d4 is best? Careful, if you take g4, bishop a1, and then d4, I can take c4, and that hangs d4 again. Yeah, the chat is very, very divided on this meta. Very divided. Alright, so the interesting thing, and I'm not very surprised about this, is that the best move is actually to sack the exchange. And white should go for the initiative. They played f4, which is second best. d4 is really bad, because after knight takes, pawn takes, bishop takes, we can't interpose on the diagonal. Right? So what's cooking here is that after knight g4, bishop a1, white here has a very, very annoying move, which is super easy to overlook. So the point is this. If we go d4, then the knight is hanging. And in order to address this, white needs to play knight e3. Now, if the bishop retreats, white gets a second pawn for the exchange, and the position is looking really, really good for white. Because those are the two central pawns. Yeah? Okay. So what else can I do? If I go dc, then white here has an extremely annoying move, which is the main idea behind this whole setup for white. What do we do? Very good. Everyone is smashing this one. Bishop a3. And now the white, rather the black king, is stuck in the middle. This would have been a very, very exciting fight. Bishop f6 or g7, I'm not sure. Maybe... Yeah, knight takes c4. Now the check is threatened. So maybe it's better to actually come back here with the idea of doing this. And then after bishop b2, castles, pawn d4 followed by e4. White only has a pawn for the exchange, but they are going to have a massive center and two very, very active bishops. Super fun chess, but you have to have serious cojones to go for this with white. Anywho, like I said, our friend instead opted for f4, and this was not as aggressive. What do we take now? What are we gonna take now? Yeah, it is very dynamic. Knight takes knight is possible, but so is dc4. They are roughly of the same value. Anish opted to take c4 first because it introduces a new potential threat. And we like that. Bishop b2. White is now trying to play very dynamically. Knight e5. fe. Bishop e6. What's wrong with take? Not a lot. But this allows white to bring in another piece with tempo. And after castles d4, white's center is now again kind of getting out of control. So instead Anish opted to develop, which is what I would have done too. What's wrong with dc4 here, guys? Very quickly. Yeah, so DC loses the bishop because of the check. These little tactical tricks are always there to look out for. As in, we need to look out for them. Which is why, in this position, white opted for knight a3, trying to resolve this tension and develop a new piece. Knight d7, queen c1. Now, interestingly, here Anish chose to take b3. e5 was also capturable, but I think b3 is fine. And then the opponent went bananas with knight c4. As you can see today, I picked mostly games that are absolutely 100% irrational. And I love that. The fact that they are irrational. Now, here comes my question. Are we taking this? Or are we castling? What should we do? Castles. Oopsie, sorry, wrong button. Okay, they took on b3. Knight c4 and castles. That's exactly it. So the problem with bishop takes c4 again is that white obtains here a lot of oomph in the center. You absolutely have to love that this tension is just being completely ignored by both players. But here, according to the mighty machine, white has got enough counterplay in the shape of the central pawn mass against black's material superiority. It's not so easy to accept this until you try to play moves for black. Lover, the best way to get better at bullet and blitz is to not to want to get better at bullet and blitz, because no one cares about those things, and nor should you. Blitz and bullet is not chess, right? It's a mini environment where you are supposed to display an incredibly large amount of skills in an unfairly short amount of time. Right? So why would you want to master something where your skill set is never allowed to be brought to the fore in its full? Right? In my opinion, blitz and bullet, actually bullet not at all, but blitz is a means to an end. It allows you to develop your actual chess game in a couple of ways. Mostly practicing your openings. Wanting to get better at blitz, in my opinion, is like, why? Why is that even an idea? Yeah, that pawn mass is nice. Anyway, this is what happened. Castles, I like it a lot. d4, still ignoring the pawns. You got to love this, man. Takes a2. And now white is committed to a full-on, right? Because, full-on all-in. Because rook a2 loses a piece to b5. And due to the pin, the knight can't move. It's over. So now white is all in. Bishop a... Oh, shit. Okay, so I just managed to spoil the entire game. So now I revealed that Anish here played knight takes e5. That was a classic case of me being an absolute potato. So white is attacking the rook, and we go like, oh, really? Well, let me put another piece on prey for you. So let's try to make heads or tails of it, right? What on earth is going on here exactly? Try to calculate a few lines to justify this crazy decision. Absolutely beautiful chess. And Balsin, I don't consider Blitz to be an adrenaline rush at all. Sorry to be a party pooper. Oshki in the house. Any tips on how to blunder pawns for free? Yeah. Improve your board awareness. Take longer, look more. That's right. So the tactics are revolving around the queen d4 check. So let's start calculating lines. What happens if the... Actually, no. The easier question first is what happens if bishop f8? Let's start there. What would we do after bishop f8? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so bishop f8 is met by queen d4 check. We take this, and basically we are going to enter this endgame down an exchange, but up 47 pawns. Clear as a whistle. So the bigger question is, what happens if they take e5 back? Which is exactly what they did. This is where we need to evaluate the situation correctly. Not so easy. Excusez-moi. That's correct. So now when we go check, the knight can interpose. Is that a problem or is it okay? Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a mess. No, friend, not at all. The point is that after queen d4 check game, knight e3, and queen takes e5, there is no mess to talk about. Black is completely winning. Black is only a piece down here, and we have got 4 pawns for it. And if you opt to take the rook as well, then after rook takes f8, you virtually have no way to stop this. Which is going to take us back to white is up a piece, but black has got 47 pawns for it. Actually, knight c2 is a move. But this obviously allows check followed by take. Yeah, this is a moment of comfort. This is when you know that you're doing great. Right? What about bishop h6? In what position? Oh, you mean in this position? I think bishop c5 is there. It's a very nice X-ray motif. That now this bishop defends the knight, yeah? So if bishop takes, then queen takes. It's not bad, but it's suboptimal compared to this. This is how the game went. Bishop takes, rook takes, knight c2, check, e3, take, 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 take. Let's do some endgame technique. Black to move. Also, if you guys are new to the party, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Especially if you are on YouTube right now. Rook d8 indeed. Bishop f3. Rook d2. I mean, white is utterly beyond repair paralyzed. Rook c2 played. And now I need a calculated answer to whether we should take or not. Yes, rook b2 and rook b1 was a threat. Do we take on c2 or not? If you take and then bishop b3, then the knight is gonna hop back to a1. That's not conclusive yet. Not for my liking anyway. That's right. So what we want to do is take, and b5. This is the most aggressive move. Sacks the pawn, but now b4 is coming, not capturable because of queen, which means that b3 is coming. The following sequence is entirely forced. Bishop a4, b3, takes. Knight a1, bishop d5, and yeah, total carnage city. You're going to bring your king up, and eventually white is going to be in a zugzwang where the king will have to defend both penetration points, and they won't be able to do that, and so the white king will have to let the black king in either here or here to feast on the pawns. This is how the game went. Actually, the white king did make it back to blockade everything, but now the knight is paralyzed, and this is still a threat. But Anish just casually played f6, introducing this idea. He just wanted to fix the pawn on white. Nothing can move. And you can never do this either, because after takes, king takes, b2 wins. What did we think of this? Yeah, those pawns are filthy. Okay, let's get rolling. Next. Okay, this is gonna be pretty brutal. Another English kickoff. Let's go. Ready? Okay, let's kick off from here. Let's kick off from here. Black to move. What would you do? Bishop e4. The problem with bishop e4 is that it doesn't provoke f3. I would just take. But it's not a bad move by any means. Der Ardar. Knight e4. I think that would lead to a lot of trades that we might not want. No. It's actually a bit counterintuitive. Knight c5 is the move, guys. Now we are threatening to go check, which means that they're likely gonna take. And when we take back, now they would want to play bishop g2, but that's not allowed because of the check. And if they play d4, then the knight can always jump into the center with the subsequent bishop b4. It's definitely Anish. It's a pretty solid, stupid question, by the way. I don't know how much taller he is than she is. I've never seen Sopiko in my life, but I would hazard to guess that Anish is at least 15 kgs heavier. Because even though he's lean and lanky, male bone mass is greater than female bone mass, which is noticeably adding to your weight. And on top of that, he's a lot taller. Right, so knight c5. Take. Queen e2. Very weird move. Very weird move. But typical Hillard person style, floating the idea of queenside castles, allowing bishop g2 without allowing the check. So there is a lot to it. Anish plays a5. And my dude played f3. Now this looks extremely stupid, but there is logic to it, which is that they want to go d4. Because d4, knight e4 is always a problem. Because now you can't go f3 because of this. Right? So f3 first with the idea of d4. What do we do? a4 doesn't seem to help because of d4, right? We could d4. I like d4 a lot. That's a very healthy move there. Because after ed, queen d, I don't think that there's a good knight jump. And we can tuck the queen away on f4. So d4 is solid. I like it. I would probably play d4 actually in this position, more so than the move that Anish played. Yeah, YouTube also agrees. What is the alternative? Queen b6 I dislike because of d4. Now guys, it's either d4 or e5. Which seems counterintuitive because it seems to provoke d4, right? But the answer is no, it doesn't, because now after take, we drop the knight back here, and all of a sudden we have got two delicious targets. Our friend played g5. Knight h5 obvious. Rook g1. What now? And this is where the wheels are coming off, by the way. This was White's last chance hereabouts to change the tide of the game. Although castle's unattractive, h4 unattractive, these are the engine's favorite moves. So, I don't know, man. But now black is in charge, and what is gonna come now is a royal carnage city. Like, absolute destruction fest. What do we do? The answer is always d4, says YouTube, and YouTube is very smart. d4, center, go forward. Now note the point is that after takes, queen takes, we are not hitting the rook. Which is super annoying from White's perspective. And now again, as Seb just pointed out, the dark squares are beckoning us. So knight d1 played, but this is just butt ugly. Knight e7. Rather bishop e7, excuse me. h4. and knight e6. Now, why on earth did this dude go here? Isn't he falling headfirst into this trap? Or it's not a trap, sorry, but a tempo. I guess that was a Freudian slip. Is 10 minutes enough, or should one play 15 plus 10? Well, definitely you shouldn't play anything that ends on 0. So 10-10 or 15-10. Definitely play with increment. Yeah, exactly. Like you're itching for knight f4, and that's exactly what was played. He went with the other knight, but it makes no real difference. Takes, queen f1. We all saw that this was coming. What now? White's position is falling apart completely. The f4 knight alone dominates the entire white army. This is so beautiful. Textbook case, by the way, of a positional piece sack. Yeah, rook h4 was played. Very good. a4 may be an even more sadistic way to go about the same thing, but doesn't really make a big difference. I'm happy either way. Idab, thank you for following us, buddy. Welcome in. Rook h4 is good. I like. Knight f2 played, and now a4. It is a beautiful case of completely discombobulating white on all quadrants of the board. King side, queen side, center, like no matter where you look, white is just falling apart. It would absolutely royally suck to play a position like this with white. Played b4, trying to keep at least the a file closed. And also trying to utilize the b file for his own rook. But Anish was carved out of a different type of timber. So what would we do here instead of taking b4? Timba, I agree. Go Timba. Yeah, a3. Very good. Bishop back. And then the sadism continues. Yes, that's it, d3. That's it, baby. Look at the bishop. Oh, man, this is... Ah, imagine beating 2500 plus Grandmaster in this style. It would absolutely wreck the house. Yeah, close the door. That's it. Rook b1 played. Queen d4 played. Absolutely beautiful chess. Thank you, Oxmilan, for joining us today. Welcome in, Rook H1. And yeah, white is just falling apart. Like, this is now trapping the rook. I mean, imagine that. Just losing a rook on B1. Oh, man. That is brutal. Now, obviously, this check had to be seen. Discovery on H4. But it's way too late to the party. Because B1 is also a goner. Rook takes. Which rook are we taking? F4, and after queen takes D3, we lose the game. It's never too late to make a big mistake. Of course you take B1 because it threatens mate in 1, threatens the rook, and threatens to get a queen. That's it guys. So rook F7 was played, queen takes was played, knight D1, and after queen C4, white threw in the towel because the pawn was going in, and the rook was also under attack. What do we say? Why not A2 immediately because queen D3 check? That's why. Great night of no castling chess. I didn't even realize that Sev chess, but yes. Yeah, exactly. Anish made GM look like NN. That's a very astute observation. Alright, folks. Do we want to play a bit against the streamer, or what do we want to do for the remaining, let's say, 20 minutes of the stream? Well, see, the thing is that Anish played these games when he was 2600, playing against other 2600. What people don't understand about professional chess on the very top level is that the higher you go, the narrower the path for you to take risks and play for a win. And also, your opponents tend to make significantly fewer errors, even between such a small margin as 26 to 2700. So it's not like his chess has changed. It's the environment he's playing in that has changed a lot. And risking a loss when you have a safe draw on that level of chess can easily mean 5 to 10 rating points, which is the next invitation to a big tournament, yada yada yada. The margins are so fine that you can't possibly afford, you know, having a very risky style. So I wouldn't really give too much grief to Anish on that account. It's just simply the nature of 2750 plus chess. Peeps want to have more games, but I haven't got any prepared, unfortunately. Courtney, you want someone under 2000 seeing analyzed? I see. Well, look, if anyone volunteers to have a game analyzed, I would be happy to do that, because I got 2 sets of 10 subs, and neither of those anonymous people claimed it for game analysis, so it's up for grabs. First team best dressed. If you chuck a game at me, I'm going to provide a game analysis, and I think that's gonna be the end of today. No, no one is submitting or wanting to have any games chucked at me. No, really? That's weird. Okay, Slash Psychic has got a game. Alright, send it to the chat. And we'll have a look. Yeah, just be quick about it, guys, because I don't want to stall forever. That would be very neat if it didn't have to stall forever. In fact, in the meantime, we might solve a puzzle. Why not? Wait, let's check out the daily puzzle. I'm being a potato. Oh, okay, I got the link. Alright. And my daily puzzle is out of whack anyway, so... Okay, what color are we, buddy? Ah, we are white. We are white. Okay, let's have a look. My good friend comes out with the Black Redeemer, but why don't you play here F3 like a man should? Come on, man. Bishop G5, lame. Finally. Okay, F3 is good. Yeah. Yep. Okay, this is getting dicey already. I like it. Queen C8, lemon. Bishop C4, good. Knight C6, yep. Knight E2, yep. Oh, man. Yamo. Rook C1. I'm trying to think what my gut instinct move would be here. Bishop B5 looks delicious. Isn't that game-winning key, buddy? Yeah, I reckon Bishop B5 is terminal. I was thinking about the X-ray on C7 is total airy-fairy talk, man. Like, you can't possibly reason for a move with that in an extremely sharp position like this. You don't understand Bishop B5. Well, play a move against it and I will demonstrate it for you. So, your turn with black. Tell me what you do and I'm going to demonstrate. I don't think, by the way, that it's particularly well hidden, but D5 and Bishop takes C6 are both game-winning threats, right? Hello? D5? No point, Merlingot. Absolutely no point. Like, this is total airy-fairy stuff that you wanna... I mean, tempo is good, and as such, it's a good move, right? But, after, I don't know where they went, not to play Bishop B5 now is a cardinal sin. Right? So that's where the problem lies. That here we failed to capitalize on this knight being vulnerable. Castle is alright, but bishop b5 would have been my favorite move for sure. Ooh, boy. Good. Okay, so now we want d5, but c4 is hanging. So what I would consider here is to kick this queen so we can go d5. So if I were white here, the first candidate move I would have here with white is h3. Because I don't see where the queen can go in a way that would stop d5. So if I were to play this game and I calculated this, I would go h3. The queen can go here and here. Let's go queen d7. That feels a bit safer. Queen here gets trapped. Yeah, so h3, queen h5, knight g3. Game over. I won. h3, queen d7, d5. Knight a5, queen takes a7. I won. And that's it. And I'm playing h3. That was a demonstration for you about how an IM calculates and finds candidate moves in a very, very easy environment. Yeah, this is really not good because after queen a6 you've got nothing. Now your opponent went mass slip queen b6. Take, take. And this is begging for knight b5, bishop f4. Which is what we did. Okay, so what would I do here? The number of candidate moves are quite large. So there is rook f3, there is rook c4, and there is rook d1. These are the most natural moves. I dislike rook f3 very much because after e5, the bishop covers this. Oh, by the way, knight c7, of course, is also a candidate move, but after king up, I don't know what's there. Maybe knight c3, knight b5 is still strong there. Yeah, actually, funnily enough, this looks very, very powerful. But let's go back. So I said rook f3, rook c4, and rook d1. Rook c4 threatens mate in 1. Wait, what? So something like rook c4, I guess e5 maybe? Bishop takes... Okay, this looks completely winning, right? So rook c4 is totally winning. Final check, rook d1, which looks very, very good too. Wait, what does black do after rook here? Knight d5 not playable because of rook d5. Rook takes makes rook mate unstoppable. Yeah, rook d1. Now rook c4 works too. Why wouldn't it? It's completely winning. You have to sack a piece to stop the mate. And actually even that might not work. Come to think of it. Yeah, no man, this is carnage. This is completely carnage, but rook fd1 is perhaps the strongest. Yeah, I don't understand why you would do this, because now I have got b5. Like, why did you play check if the plan was rook c4? I just don't get that. This is so sad. But for sure, rook fd1 was best. Okay, this was very illogical to... If you wanted to go rook c4, the check was really unnecessary. Yeah, and here too, I think take, forcing the king here, which by the way walks into this, and then knight here would keep this king in an incredibly unpleasant checkmate net. I dislike this check too. Wait, what? Why are you not taking this, brother? Hello, what? Wait, you said what? E5? Wait, here, E5. And if check? Like, dude, it's mate. Slash, I think your calculation, buddy, is lacking big time. Granted, and I'm somewhat unhappy about this, you submitted a blitz game, which allows basically zero room for calculation. So, that's not good. What do you mean I kind of gave up? Like, it's mate. Yeah, that's, again, you can't do that. Like, it's not how chess works. You don't get to be upset during a game. Especially not in blitz, where everything happens so fast. But bishop c2 instead of taking this? Dudski. And you are telling me e5, which almost forcingly loses again. Man, like this was a dog's breakfast what we did from this completely winning mate attack here. And by the way, at this point we have won 11 versus their 22 seconds. So you should have calculated your heart out here. And we came up with this very lemony move. Dude, you didn't spend a single second on this. What? Hello? Tindy! Ever so slightly late to the party, brother. Well, then you know what to work on, brother. It's because you don't calculate enough. But yeah, this rook c2 and you're hanging the rook too, like, holy Jesus, man. Man, the heart breaks. That was absolute catastrophe. Oh, the King Charles coming in strong with the raid. Thank you, thank you. The legend himself. Welcome in, ladies. Thank you. I don't know, Karen, what time you wanted to play Rook D1, Rook D3, but I guess that was good too. Thank you, King Charles. Appreciate you, man. I actually put it among my commands, so there you go. Yeah, slash, that was tragic. That was absolutely tragic. You should be playing, buddy, a lot more rapid chess instead. Who is this evil chess coach guy? You keep on playing him all the time. Is he your buddy or something? Edu, you are overthinking it. As a matter of fact, I think shrinking the board size is really not a good idea because you're far more likely to misclick. Also, slash, you should really, like, today should mark the date when you put this opening into the bin, man. Like, this is completely, total, utter nonsense. Like, you are playing white, your opponent had to play 0 sensible moves, And we are -1 on like move, what are we? 8. So like, please, I beg you to promise me that this was the last time you ever touched this dirt in a semi-serious context. So awesome. Like, it has traps. Great. So what you're telling me now is that you would like to put all your eggs in the basket where if your opponent is stupid, you are going to win a game without you having to play chess. That's your best case scenario. Or B, they are not stupid and you are on the back foot with white from move 8. In neither case are we actually utilizing our understanding of the game, playing for a beautiful, you know, complex game. It's like either we have a memorized win or we are struggling from move 8. I don't understand which part of it is fun. Why would you do that? Okay. So how did you lose this? Did you lose this? You went on to lose this. How? Okay, this is very curious. I'm very curious about how this went. G4. Ten seconds of thinking. Alright, can chat tell me why this is a horrific idea? Okay, horrific is harsh, but it's really, really bad. Both on tactical and positional grounds. Is there a merit to correspondence chess to improve the game? No, I'm a very firm believer that correspondence chess has nothing good to do to your chess. And I tell you why, because it allows you to play out moves on the board, analyze it, and then play your best move, which means that you are undermining your visualization. Closes lines against the king. I don't understand what that's meant to say, Erasmus. Why is... Okay, everyone is completely in the dark about this. There's not a correct answer in the chat at all. It's quite amazing, actually. The more I present positions like this, the more I get convinced that I really need to release an endgame technique course for you folks, because yeah, these questions are very easy and somehow we are absolutely totally in the dark. How does this fix double pawns? I asked why this move was really, really bad. And there are basically two points that we need to make why this move is horrific. Number one, the f5 pawn is actually a weakness that we can target. Number two, we are better in an endgame. When you are better in an endgame, what is the unit type that you do not want to trade? Pawns, because they are the assets to you winning the game. We need pawns to win endgames, not trade pawns, because we will not have stuff to win with. Right? Like currently, we have got 1 pawn fewer. So if we went on to trade all pawns off, we are going to end up with bishop knight against rook pawn. That's not gonna win it. Right? The way you win this, because you have got more pieces, is that you win pawns, not trade. So g4 is the last move you would want to play. Literal last thing to consider, because it allows black to trade one pair of pawns, followed by another pair of pawns, open up the fast for the rooks, by the way, and create 2 connected pass pawns for black. We went from plus 2.5 to double zeros. That's a shocker. Now, correct move for white here. Let's go. Now, I love f4 here. This is by far my favorite move. And now you are going to come back and at me that trades pawns too. Well, yes and no. Because if you trade into this, you are isolating 3 black pawns. 3 of them. So now I'm going to win by force this, and almost certainly this too. Right? And if they don't engage with the trade, I fixed the weakness, which I'm going to hunt down. Yeah? Okay, so let's see how the game went. g4, Shocker City. Yeah, yeah. Boy. That's rough to watch, man. I look at these 2 rooks having a field day versus playing f4 and go like, good luck with your rooks, bruv. That is so sad, man. Like, g4 just absolutely butchered this game. Yep, good. This looks to me like a pass. Very good. You should have actually played knight f2 first. Because now you have got this threat. If you start with bishop c4, I can thwart your plan with b5. And now you have to go back. You had the right idea, but it was the wrong execution. That was very clever. It was just poorly done. Your opponent is playing really poorly, by the way. .92, excellent chess. Yeah, you were not sneaky, you were silly. Because, yeah, I love that concept. Oh, I'm trying to be sneaky. You know you're not. You're just doing it wrong. Because now after b5, you can't do what you want to do. Whereas after knight f2, if I play b5 to stop this, then you can use the knight to come in here. You might even be able to play rook takes, king takes, and then knight check, yeah? So, that's not sneaky. That's silly. When you have got an idea like putting the bishop on d3, and you have got 2 ways to do it. Start with bishop c4, then drop back, and then drop back. Or start with knight f2, and then do the maneuver. You will find that chess generally does not allow both of those to be of equal value. Almost always, one of them is vastly inferior to the other, or vastly superior if you want to put a positive spin on it. And it's your duty to figure out who is who. It is almost never that those 2 ideas could be played out in both ways to an equal outcome. Almost never. Okay, now we are completely killing it again. Beautiful move. It's quite sad that some of the endgame you play absolutely perfectly. Thank you, Courtney. Have a good one. And then the rest of it is like total dog's breakfast. Oh no, why? Dude. King back. Ah, time. To be fair to you though, this maneuver was not easy to find. Yeah, it's a toughie. I don't blame you for this. I don't blame you for this. Oh, and then you lost on time. Yeah, this wasn't too bad. This wasn't too bad. But G4 was a really, really serious miss. G4 was life-changing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to call it a day here. I'm going to raid our Polish friend because we haven't had a chance to raid him for ages. Thank you very much for tuning in. My pleasure, Slash. I don't know when we are going to stream next. Yeah, next week is gonna be a bit of a mess, but I try to come online. Unfortunately, I can't commit to anything yet. But I will come online. Please ensure, guys, that you are subscribing to the YouTube channel. And I will see you hopefully soon. Bye. Tindy, you are forgiven, buddy.